Time to recap last night's Broncos versus South games off your comments from last night. Very true. It was a very, very messy game from both teams, if I'm being honest. It was actually quite a hard watch. I found this the hardest game to watch so far this year. A lot of errors. I think I counted 5-2 after 15 minutes or something. So not a great opening to the game. South, though, you're absolutely right. They've just got to find a way to be able to hold the ball and not want to feel like they want to score every single set, like get into the grind. But the fact of the matter is, at the moment, their forward pack isn't strong enough to compete with that sort of a battle up front. That's the huge issue at the moment, I feel like, for South Sydney. Similar to what I said in the last slide, but I want to sort of go into maybe a bit more Latrell Mitchell, Cody Walker, etc. Like, I love Latrell Mitchell as a player. I think he's right up there. He's one of the best players in the game when he's on. But that is the crucial thing. It's about when he's on, and it just doesn't seem to happen much. Cody Walker just, for the first 2 weeks so far, I just feel like he's hardly been there. He's hardly been involved. He hasn't looked like he's wanted to be involved. There's still a lot of pressure on Lachlan Ilias, and rightly so. Their halves together, I felt like, struggled last night to gain any sort of momentum, and that's probably rests on Cody Walker's shoulders, if I'm being honest. He's the senior figure. He's the guy that should be stepping up when his team's needed, not a rookie halfback. So expecting a lot more from the likes of Cody Walker. Latrell Mitchell to be in the game for a lot more than he is. South Sydney really need those two players firing. You know what? After last year and what happened with the Bunnies and all the rumours that we've obviously all heard about at the time and know of some stories, etc., I'm actually surprised JD kept his spot, and I'm pretty sure they actually extended him as well. Crazy times, but personally I don't think he's the coach moving forward for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. I think he's become too matey for the players. They pretty much look like they get away with a lot. It doesn't look like they did much in the preseason, if I'm being honest, so far. In the first two games, nothing they've done has really excited me, but it is what it is, I guess. They're with JD at the moment. Who knows how long that partnership will last for. I'm a huge fan of Sam Burgess coming in and getting that head coach's role in the next year or so. I think he's a must there for South Sydney. Display that work ethic as you're talking about and really toughen up that South pack and South playing group as well. They are 100%. But it's sort of my point that I mentioned about the Titans last weekend as well, is that they've still got a mountain of first grade talent that would be starting that team week in, week out, playing anyway at the moment. And again, don't want to point it out, but like the spine last night was non-existent for the Bunnies. The forward pack was non-existent for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Cameron Murray is not an edge forward, especially at NRL level. I can see the argument perhaps for the Blues, but for the Bunny, he must be one of the first picked each and every week at 13. He's that crucial for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. It was just absolutely mind-boggling to put him out of such a crucial position where he controls so much. Seems like he really can keep the likes of Latrell, Cody, and that intact and organise that sort of attack football for the Bunnies, when to go sideways, when to go forward. So it was big losses. They've lost some big stars, but there's still some mountain of stars there that teams would love to have. Geez, it's all about the Bunnies, isn't it? Cooked. I don't know if it's cooked yet. I personally think they will definitely struggle at the moment to make the 8 the way they're playing. It's going to be hard for them to turn this around, because we're not just talking about what's happened this year so far. We're talking about the back end of last year as well, and it just seems like that momentum is carried through to this year, which is really hard to wrestle away and get back into that winning formula and the way they were playing it before at the start of that year, when they ended up leading the comp after, I think it was round 11 or something. So I don't know if it's full on cooked, but I do think they will be struggling to make the 8, and I guess in a way that may be suggesting they are cooked, because for the Rabbitohs with that player squad, they should be making the 8 each and every year. Yeah, both teams, as I said, it was a pretty hard game to watch and keep focused on, if I'm being brutally honest. I'll talk about the Broncos more so on this one, because it's pretty much the only one that we've had come through that's actually about the Broncos. I thought they were pretty messy without being spectacular, but they got the job done. Walsh, I love Walsh's game and the level he has stepped up to at the moment. I'm really, really impressed. I'll do some comments about Reece Walsh a bit later on this afternoon, so keep a check on that one on the YouTube, the podcast that I do. Some thoughts on him, because I think it's worth talking about. Just really, really impressed with the level he's taken his game this year, the game organisations, the kicking game. He just seems like he's really switched on and brought that class element to his game, which he can continue. There's comments yesterday about where he can go in the standings of the game, and he could be right up there over the next few years.